So, welcome back to another video. We're continuing with the Lions content, and in this one we'll be looking at the biggest omissions from Andy Farrell's Lions squad. Players who should have been there that aren't, and essentially what that means for the team. Overall, I think Andy Farrell's picked a pretty decent team, but wouldn't be the Lions without any notable omissions. And in this one, we'll be counting down to the top 10 of my biggest omissions. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and as always, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's get into it. So, number 10. I've gone for Daff Jenkins. Now, some say Wales captain. He has been Wales captain. Dewey Lake has also been Wales captain, among a few others. But his form has been okay, just unfortunately in two pretty deteriorating sides in Exeter and Wales, which probably put him to the back of the list behind the likes of McCarthy and James Ryan. In my eyes, I think he probably was warranted to go, just based off all of his work rate he has been doing for Wales at least. However, Andy Farrell has obviously gone with what he knows. Tyke Byrne, James Ryan and McCarthy all go. Next up, at number 9, I've gone for Dewey Lake. And again, the hooker situation is pretty decent. Sheehan and Cowan Dickey looking most likely to battle out for that start. Dewey Lake has obviously been hit with a lot of injuries and again in a not ideal Wales setup at the moment. But if there is any hooker injuries, I would imagine he would maybe be on the list. But we'll have to see who else comes up in this top 10. And just like that, next up is Jamie George. Ex-England captain and ex-tourist as well. I think Jamie George probably would be a little bit upset. He has obviously been there and done it with the Lions, and I think would just offer some good tourist ability on this tour. Obviously gone for, well, pretty young and dynamic hookers. Jamie George is not necessarily that experienced hooker. A little bit unlucky if you ask me, but I guess that's the selection headache that you take. At number 7, another pretty injury-torn player, much like Dewey Lake in this top 10 so far, is Manny Faboso. Massively electrifying and stands out not only in Exeter but also England when he fortunately had some starts. I guess why he should be in, he's just got that game-breaking speed and agility, much like Zamet had 4 years ago. And just like a youthful energy to unsettle defenders. Justice Swahili has it for Australia as well. But unfortunately, I think injuries has not helped him out here. At number 6, I've gone for Sam Prendergast. Many of you might have thought he would be a little bit higher in this rankings. But I think Prendergast, given just his age and experience so far, has probably tipped him just out of it. You've got young experience in Finn Smith and also Marcus Smith in a sense. Finn Russell, definitely the most experienced at 32, but Prendergast is at mate Andy Farrell. Unfortunately didn't pick him, maybe just too soon. Another player who many of you might have higher, but I've gone my number 5 for Jack Willis. A beast at the breakdown, relentless tackler and serious work rate. Toulouse, he's been exceptional. England, not had many starts, obviously with the overseas rule. I think mainly why he missed out, just so much competition on the back row. Hasn't had very many test level starts, which maybe that's playing on Andy Farrell's mind. But when you've got the likes of Tom Curry, who has proven it at international level, then it's a bit hard to deviate from that. Another player who's been there and done it, much like Jamie George, is Tupe Falatau. Pretty much a Wales legend. Would you say a Lions legend? Maybe. He's been picked for the Lions before, but this time just missing out. Probably fitness and form, would you say? Wales obviously haven't been in great form, but Falatau, when he has started, has performed pretty well. I think, yeah, maybe recent injury struggles and, well, again, overall competition in the back row. Got the likes of Ben Earl, Jack Conan. With Doris not being able to make the tour, I did think that Falatau would slip in, but unfortunately not. So, at number 3, I've actually gone for Ben White. Scottish scrum half has actually been in pretty decent form. Especially for Scotland, he's always performed over, even the past 3 Six Nations pretty well. Always gets on the end of a try and pretty much sets up that Scottish backline from the outset. Pretty unlucky. Thomas Williams, I would have said, had just pipped him with his form from Gloucester. I would imagine if Thomas Williams, and he came out and spoke earlier this week to say if he hadn't moved to Gloucester, maybe wouldn't have gotten the Lions, so massively thankful. But yeah, again, Welsh form not ideal. Ben White, Scottish form has been pretty good. Very unlucky for Ben White, and I would imagine is the next in line if a 9 gets injured. At number 2, I've gone for Darcy Graham. Absolute electric winger, has a nose for tries, and is competing very hard with Duhan van der Merwe for Scotland's top try scorer. I think they're pretty much level. Again, injury record of late hasn't been ideal, had a few concussions as well, but I'm feeling Darcy Graham would definitely be upset with this. He just kind of provides something that other wingers don't, but I guess that's the play that Andy Farrell was taking when he picked Duhan van der Merwe. Don't really have another winger like Duhan, so just unlucky on Darcy Graham. And number 1, in my opinion, the biggest omission, you'd have got it from the thumbnail, is Owen Farrell. So, obviously captain England, probably England's maybe best ever player, would you say? That's up for some debate, again. Wealth of experience. Why he didn't get picked? Well, it's definitely, one, form, but also injuries. He's moved to Racing, so out of the England fold, and just hasn't played much due to injury. I think if he had been playing, let's say for Saracens, not even for England, then I think he would have had a much better chance and potentially had just gone for, let's say, 10-12 cover and just general experience. I think, personally unlucky. Do I think if Andy Farrell had picked his son Owen, that would have raised a lot of eyebrows and taken the media away from the overall Lions selection? Yes, I definitely think so. So, probably think it's the best decision, but again, someone with Owen Farrell's experience is invaluable on a Lions tour. So, that's my top 10. Let me know if I've omitted any of the biggest omissions in your opinion. Just let me know down in the comments. It's always interesting to see other people's opinions, especially with biggest omissions, because if you support a certain country, you might be drawn to, omitted players from there. If you're Irish, I'm sure there's not many big omissions because the whole team is essentially in. Jokes aside, I hope you all like the video, and there'll be another constant stream of Lions content coming this week and next, so stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one.